settings for this game. I think I found the sweet spot this time. Whiskas. No, I'm not gonna play this game. I just wanna test the settings. I think I found what really works for it. Just wanna see if it looks better with these different settings. That's all.
The port of Ardia. This once peaceful coastal village has... Your mission objectives are as follows. Pistol. Distress beacon activated.
Still looks a little bit jumpy. Just one more time. Oh, you think even in the DST streams I sound low? Alright, hopefully this is better. Oh my gosh, this guy won't die. I don't know if you're watching this, Whiskas, does that look like 60 FPS to you? Oh, nice. Yeah, that's much better then. I think it's 60 FPS now and much clearer than before.
caramba! You should be ashamed. Ay, caramba! Child rescued.
Yeah, I'm just gonna play this for a couple more minutes and then check out how it looks later.
Distress beacon activated. Distress beacon activated. Child rescued.
Thank you, Turok.
Hey, Bully. Trying to find the right setting to stream this game. Looks like the setting is better than how I had it before. I think it's better graphics and better frame rate. Yeah, what about the graphics though?
Ultra
Is it a
health.
little bit better?
Warp portal activated.
Okay. Game volume is too high. How about this? Sound better?
Flashlight.
Alright, cool, man. Just gonna play this for like probably 5 more minutes and then done. I want to look back on how it looks from my perspective.
Child rescue.
Oh, you want to know more about the Wolfgang rework? So, I mean, what part do you want to know about specifically? So just my opinion about like Wolfgang's rework that happened like last year or something, or in 2021. My opinion is like it's not, out of all the reworks that happened recently, it's probably the worst one. And that's because, I mean, it's all opinion, obviously. So yeah, it's all opinion. But what I find fun about the game is being able to not being spoon-fed how to play a character. The fun of the character is kind of like the innovation, like your ability as a player to learn about the mechanics and like innovate in order to make a character work. And that is completely gone with the new Wolfgang. I mean, aside from even stuff like him having to stand still and lift weights in order to get 2 times damage. Like, that's one problem already, because it just slows down the gameplay. But my biggest problem is that it's just so whatchamacallit? It's just so easy, it's so brain dead. And it's not creative. There's no effort on the player's part, really. You just get 4 rocks and a twig, and basically you get 2 times damage. You didn't really earn that. The old Wolfgang kind of had, I mean, it was a lot easier for him to get that kind of damage compared to other characters, but he at least had to earn that. He had to kind of plan ahead with his meals and stuff. There's a downside to using, to being, what is that, Mighty Wolfgang? Which is, you know, you had your hunger drain at a very fast pace. And plus, because it was tied to his hunger, he didn't get a straight up 2 times damage multiplier, which kind of added a dimension to his gameplay, because you wanted to, instead of getting just a bunch of meaty stews and maxing out your hunger right before a fight, you want to max out your hunger and then keep it, like maintain it at that high level. So you would want to bring in like small snacks like berries or honey or something small like that. And that was another part of the gameplay that really added depth to the character. Learning about him and, learning these small little tricks and things about the character that made you just a little bit better, more effective when playing as him. But the new Wolfgang is just so straightforward. It's okay, lift weights, and then once you're mighty, then as long as you're in combat, you're not gonna lose that form. You're gonna get a straight up 2 times damage multiplier. There's no thought that goes into it, and then there's a whole thing about the synergy. I liked Wolfgang because it was tied to his hunger. He kind of had the synergy with characters who were able to feed him very easily, like Wickerbottom, like who else? Wormwood, Wendy. But that's all gone because he can pretty much get his 2 times damage so easily and all by himself. So yeah, it took away player synergy. It took away the depth of his character. It's very easy to play him at basically the best possible way. Yeah, that's why I think he's boring. And I mean, on top of that, the whole idea of lifting weights, the whole mightiness meter, it really linearizes the way Wolfgang is played. Basically, the developers tell you this is how you play Wolfgang, and if you play him this way, then you will succeed. If you don't, then you won't succeed. Yeah, that's kind of it in a nutshell. Not sure if that makes sense or not. Yeah, one-dimensional character. And he's not the only one with this one-dimensional thing, kind of like Maxwell's kind of one-dimensional too. I mean, even though he has all these cool different oh my gosh, I'm actually talking about your main right here. Maybe I shouldn't say anymore. Nah, but I think that Maxwell has very unique abilities that make his playing style very different from like Wilson or Wolfgang. So he has that going for him, but he still suffers the same thing that Wolfgang suffers from, which is like the developers tell you exactly how to play him good. They tell you do this, and if you do this well, you will succeed. Like there's no real innovation when it comes to Maxwell. Like against bosses, it's basically okay, manage your sanity, continue to keep the bosses trapped with Shadow Prison, and continue to keep as many of your duelists up as possible. If you do that, you're going to be successful against every single boss. And that's basically how like the developers intended you to play Maxwell. There's little variations you can do, like, I guess you can add Grumblebees or something. You can add an Ornery Beefalo, but that's just like a supplementary thing. It's not really game changing. So he does suffer the same thing as Wolfgang, although it's not as bad as Wolfgang because at least Maxwell's playstyle is different. It's not a carbon copy of Wilson, and it's a little bit more involved than just getting 4 rocks and a twig in order to get super powers and stuff. But the whole one-dimensional kind of thing, or rather the lack of innovation, I'd say, Maxwell suffers from that too. Now, if you want to contrast that to Weber's rework. That one, the developers didn't tell you how to play the character. They gave you a bunch of tools, and some of them were useful and some of them were useless. And you have to figure out how to use these tools to best effectively combat, enemies or do well in the game. So that's the difference. I think Weber's rework is probably the best one out of all the recent ones. And I include Wendy in that. But yeah, of course, Pui, this is just my opinion. I mean, it's not like I'm God or anything. I'm not, my opinion doesn't mean anything any more than anybody else's. But yeah, that's just how I feel about the Maxwell. To some extent, the Maxwell rework, but That's the reason why I have never picked up Wolfgang ever since his rework. Because it's just like so straightforward. Like, what can I do to improve this guy? Nothing. I just play him how the developers want me to play him. Everybody knows the ins and outs and secrets of Wolfgang from the very get-go. Yeah, I agree, Whiskas. No, I like Wendy's rework too. I just don't think it's... I mean, I'm a Wendy main, you know that. But even I don't think it's as good as Weber's rework. Is Winona slated to get a rework? I mean, there are some things that... Actually, I don't know. I hope... you know, on one hand, like, Winona could use a little touch-up, like those spotlights are completely useless, in my opinion. I have no idea what you're going to use that for. It's like a complete downgrade to just like a fire pit in most situations. But on the other hand, I don't trust these guys with reworking Winona. They're going to give her like a catapult meter or something. Oh yeah, I remember that. When she first came out. Yeah. I'm not sure what they were thinking. She was, right? She was Wilson with tape and she could dodge Charlie once. Or could she not even dodge Charlie? I forget. They touch Winona Alchemist. They should bring back the crew that worked on Weber. Get them to do Winona's rework. Yeah, I'm looking at the footage right now, and yeah, it does look really smooth. Looks like 60 FPS. Much better. Yeah, right? Cooley? Like, Whiskas is like the only Winona main I know, and Mikey is the only Walter main I know. Hey, to be honest though, Whiskas, that crafting is a pretty good upside, I gotta say. The faster crafting speed? It's like underrated. If it's the same crew? Oh, you mean the one that did the Weber is the same crew that did the Wolfgang? Oh yeah, I guess Gabrielle, but I don't really know Gabrielle, you know? I never played with Gabrielle. I just see him on YouTube. I don't know, I think Whiskas might be better than Gabrielle though. Whiskas plays a really aggressive Winona. Like, he flies around the map, building catapults left and right all over the place in the early game. You know? I never see Gabrielle play though, so to be fair, can't really compare. But I know Whiskas, like, you could probably rush Fuel Weaver and stuff in like Winter and a bunch of other raid bosses with just Winona.
You have found part of the new quest.
don't know. For me, like before they did this whole change with the cobblestone terrain, making it way cheaper, I just remember switching to Winona when I wanted to make like a ton of cobblestone, because back then it was like what, one board and one rocky terrain or something. And if you wanted to make like 60 of that, it's going to take your character a long time to do it. So I remember switching to Winona for that and the catapults. But yeah, it's just great being able to craft that quickly. Really? I feel like you could rush Fueweaver if you wanted to. I mean, I know that you could beat Fueweaver on your own if you got to the fight. The only fight I think you might have problems with is the shadow chess pieces. Maybe.
The Death Marshes.
No, actually you wouldn't, because you would just do the night cheese.
The Death Marshes are home to the mighty Perlin, a primitive and brutal race of ape-like creatures.
Yeah, I don't see why you wouldn't be able to
Perlin
rush
regard
Fueweaver
humans
as
weak,
Winona the way you play.
scorching insects, and are deeply resentful of the progress humankind has made as the
I mean, the
centuries
way you
have
set up those
gone.
catapults against Fueweaver, it completely shuts him down. Turns him into, what, like, it turns him into like Moose Goose, except with 16,000 HP, basically.
Primogen intends to wipe them out as soon as Turok is no longer a threat. Though they are unpredictable and untrustworthy, the Primogen has armed the Perlin with a very limited reserve of high-tech weaponry and ammunition. Your mission objectives are as follows. Rescue 5 prisoners. Destroy 3 ammunition storage facilities.
Really? It was because, I mean, you're the one who always does the night cheese, right? You cheese the Shadow Knight.
At all costs.
I would imagine it would be pretty easy for you. All you have to do is fight the bishop and the rook on land, keep the knight in the ocean, and then cheese them with catapults. Oh yeah, and by the way, Pooley, Whiskas has his own Twitch channel. Whenever we play together, he streams his own version. I like to call it the Spanish dub, because Whiskas' native tongue is Spanish. But yeah, if you want to watch some top tier Winona gameplay, you should check out his channel. Really? But that's very learnable. Like for me, I think if I'm not streaming and if I'm just concentrating, I can pretty consistently get the chess pieces all set by day 8, I think. So I mean, yeah, like you just gotta learn how to tame a beefalo. Beefalo taming makes everything so easy. Makes ruins rushing easy. Yeah, actually, Whiskas, I have a video coming out. I already did it, but I'm probably gonna release it like over a month from now. But basically, it's called the title is called S Tier West Guide or something like that. And basically, I'm just playing West, and I was able to beat 4 raid bosses, I think, before day 30. So I ended up like rushing the ruins, beating AG, beating Klaus, beating Dragonfly, beating the Twins of Terror, and beating the Shadow Chess Pieces. So, if you, I mean, you can watch that video and then kind of replicate that with Winona. Because if West can do it, then obviously Winona can do it too. No, but yeah, it's just honestly, it's not really S tier West guide. It's more like S tier Beefalo Tamer guide because basically you're doing all your fighting on the Beefalo. You're doing everything on a Beefalo except for like the very first couple days where you're using speedy balloons to get all over the place. But yeah, after you watch that video, you're gonna see like, okay, I can definitely rush the ruins and find the chess pieces before day 21 and set up a decent base. Definitely possible. Would be the rocks. But Whiskas, you don't usually ruins Russia, or do you? Yeah. So here's the thing: if you ruins rush, especially now, with the new ancient guardian, you're gonna get a ton of rocks from that fight, because basically whenever he hits a pillar, then a mini earthquake occurs, and then tons of rocks fall all over the place. So whenever I end up fighting him, at the end of the fight, there's like at least 40 rocks on the ground, and you can probably just get more if you just let him, if you just keep him alive and let him just hit pillars and stuff, continuously drop rocks and stuff, and you can pick them up during the fight too. But yeah, that's just one option. You can just find rocks here and there along the way. I mean, I know 40 is not that much to you, but sure you can optimize things a little like that. Kill two birds with one stone kind of thing. Hey, spiderwebs. You played this game before? No, I don't believe you played this game. Nobody plays this game.
Portal activated.
Yeah. S tier Winona guide. AG is a rock farmer for you. Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. No, but I know, Whiskas, when you play with me, like, you pretty much set those things up really quickly. But then I guess that's multiplayer, yeah? But if you're trying to rush Fuel Weaver, it's just 2 bosses you gotta fight, or 2 raid bosses. It's the Shadow Chest pieces and Fuel Weaver himself. And I've seen you set up Fuel Weaver really quickly. It's just, what, 2 catapults in each corner? Hey, Sid. Yeah, dinosaurs and Doom. That's basically what Turok is. Except it's weird. In this game, there's not too many dinosaurs, to be honest. So Whiskas, if you're playing on your own solo, you're telling me that you wouldn't do the 8 catapults in the Fuel Weaver arena, like the 2 in each corner. That wouldn't be sufficient, because I think that would, right? That pretty much shuts down all his the woven shadows, I'd imagine. And then for what is the other boss? The shadow chess pieces. For that, like you just need 2 catapults, I'd say, right? Once the level 3 knight is in the ocean, you just need 2 catapults, or even one could do it. It would just take a while. So that's like what, 8, 10 catapults total? I don't know. What? Oh well, Spider, what do you mean by? Well, by rush Fuel Weaver, we mean like beat him, you know, before mid game. And I don't know if you saw my my player tier list video, but I define mid game as Deerclops basically. When Deerclops first spawns in, that's what I consider mid game.
Ammunition storage facility destroyed.
I don't know. Everybody has their own definition of what mid game is, so or what a rush is. Like you ain't gonna rush Fuel Weaver day 5 unless you're Guile. But I would never even try to attempt that because, man, the RNG that's involved in that make me insane having to try run after run after run, you know, to get that. What I like to do is just things that are consistent. So I can consistently rush Fuel Weaver day 23 to 25, I'd say. That's good enough for me. Like, imagine you're playing Don't Starve Together, which is a game that really takes a lot of time, right? Like, it's gonna take you at least 3 hours to get to winter. Or almost 3 hours to get to winter. And then come winter, you just get bad RNG with, like, Mac Tusks and stuff. So 3 hours just down the drain, even if you did everything else perfectly. Like, I can't imagine, like, restarting runs like that. So I'd rather just go with the, you know, something that's consistent rather than, oh look, I played the game really well and I also got good RNG. Yeah, but that's what I'm talking about, Sid. Like, I don't like that kind of thing where you're relying on good RNG, because one thing goes wrong and you got like 3 hours drained down the toilet, you know? I'm more interested in things that you can repeatedly do with decent RNG. Well, Puli, we all start somewhere, and honestly, if you're taming a beefalo, like how you are, I mean, you're already an advanced player. I think one of the problems that I came across was, I don't know, when you only talk to people who are really good at the game, then you start to think that you're not that good or something. But that's not true. Like, you gotta remember that most of the people that play Don't Starve Together don't even survive past winter. You know? Yeah, I'd say Maxwell rushing Fuel Weaver is kind of tough.
I'm free. Thank you. I am Turok.
Good RNG with AG? What do you mean by that, Whiskas? Oh, you mean? Oh, I think I know what you mean. You mean getting the Lazy Explorer from AG. I think that's what you mean.
Hey, over here! Hey, over here!
So, so yeah, Winona has catapults. So if you're a Winona main, then like you're probably one of the best players to fight Fuel Weaver with, because not only do you have to not worry about Woven Shadows, but you're constantly damaging Fuel Weaver too. And then if you're like me and you're a Wendy main, then you got Abigail, kills all of them too. Yeah, but hey, Whiskas, I'd consider a rush. Still, like, if you beat Fuel Weaver before day 30, I'd still consider that a rush. Or even after that. Like, Fuel Weaver is an endgame boss. Even if you beat Fuel Weaver before winter, I'd still consider that a rush. Like, before the end of winter. Yeah, Spida, you should watch Whiska's channel sometime. Or maybe you should watch Whiska's when he plays with me. Maybe that's a little bit better, because I don't think Whiska's goes as hardcore as he does when he plays with me. When he does his own thing. Although he does go pretty hardcore, but yeah, the way he plays Winona is really aggressive. When he plays with me.
I grant you the breath of life talisman. This talisman will allow you to swim unharmed through poisonous waters. May it help you on your journey.
But Spida, is your main character Weber? I forget. Or did it used to be Weber and it changed, I think? I think that's what you told me before. I don't think Winona really synergizes with other characters that well, to be honest. She definitely doesn't synergize with the minion characters like Wirt or Weber, because her catapults will still hit them. Me and Whiskas actually tested that out today. No, actually, she does synergize. I mean, didn't we test out one of the synergies, Whiskas? Which was, she synergizes with Wartox because she lets him have as much souls as he wants, right? She can build those, like, automatic soul farms for him. Ah, there you go. That's exactly what I was talking about. Yeah. But yeah, she doesn't specifically, I guess other than that, she doesn't specifically synergize with any other character. She's just overall good, you know?
You must save the
I,
children,
I would
Turok.
bet that they do hit the duelist, I'd imagine. But I haven't tested it. Oh wait, they don't kill the duelist? Really? Interesting. Well, that's good.
Of the mantids.
Not like that makes her any better with Maxwell though.
Extremely intelligent race of insects that have established a
Yeah, I think
large
Abigail is
colony
fine.
on lost land in recent years. The mantids are incapable of pity, remorse, or
Pretty sure
repentance.
Abigail is fine. I don't remember ever having problems with.
Their own existence.
I played Wendy with
To
Whiskas.
this end, the Primogen has persuaded the mantids to help free him by promising to give them ripe new worlds to infest. The first world on their list is Earth. Rift gates are being ready
I want to know though,
transport an
Spida
army of
Gaming
mantis
or
soldiers to
Spida.
your world. Destroying the master computer
Is
will
that
render the
your
rift gates
main,
useless.
Weber?
Your mission objectives are as follows.
Oh, did we?
Destroy 3 queen embryos.
I forget.
Destroy the
Did we
master
actually almost die
computer.
to Bee Queen? We must have been like really underprepared as far as like armor and healing.
Locate the energy totem and defend it at all costs.
I guess, yeah. Maxwell is a good gatherer. But it's nothing like the Wartox or Wigford and the Weremoose. That's synergy right there. That's how you have fun.
Force field down.
Yeah, I guess that's true. Right?
Force field down.
But, I don't know. Shadow Prison and... Doesn't that essentially turn... Shadow Prison plus the Duelist is basically Shadow Prison plus the catapults. Kind of like the same effect, you know? Not much difference. Okay. Oh, it's a shame. You should have stayed Weber. Nah, don't listen to me. Play whoever you want to, but it's just that Weber is probably, I'd say, my second or third favorite character. Really fun. The funnest thing about Weber is that he probably has, like, you know, as far as like power levels go. Like, I don't know if you guys watch like Dragon Ball Z. You know, there's like power levels. I'd say Weber has like the highest power level out of any, like, potential power level out of any character. Highest DPS possible. Because, you know, he can get an unlimited amount of spiders, basically. And the fun thing I like about Weber is trying to figure out how to use that against bosses. You gotta understand one thing about Winona players, Spida. They don't think like the rest of us. They're basically outcasts of society. So, you know, they're gonna like some weird stuff. This guy's cheating. Are you talking about this game? Wait, what? To be honest, I think this game kind of inspired like Metroid Prime. Because Prime came out in 2001, I think. This game came out in 1998.
All field down.
I don't know. Personally, for the Winona skins, I like them. I like a lot of them. I think it's just because I don't know if you guys noticed, but like, is Winona like the only character that smiles with some of her skins? Like the only female character that actually smiles sometimes. I could be wrong. Does Willow smile? I forget. I know Winona has a couple ones that she's smiling. Okay, I don't know. If you guys are talking about Willow, then maybe I gotta look at those more. But maybe I'm just used to playing Wendy too much, and I don't think Wendy has any ones that she's smiling in. She's always depressed. Maybe that's why. Yeah, I think my favorite Winona skin is the Triumphant one, probably. I like that one and the Winter one. Hey, Spiderwebs, have you seen my How to Ruins Rush as a hero or like a hero video?
Full field down.
Well, if
War
Uh,
portal
I'd like you to watch that one
activated.
because you're a former Weber main. It's basically one of the cool things you can do as Weber. It didn't do that well, that video. I think it got like 10,000 views or something. But I don't know. As a guy who likes playing Weber, that was one of my more favorite videos. Oh, real quick, sorry to butt in your guys' conversation, but do you guys think this is fair? Okay, look. In order to beat this level, you have to find this secret thing right here. You have to destroy this wall that looks exactly like all the other walls in this entire like level. Like, look, there's nothing special about this, but you have to know to destroy this wall because behind it there's this generator.
Force field down.
It's like old game design. They did not know what they were doing. I mean, at least Metroidvania, like, you have power bombs, right? And it's kind of expected that you have to destroy, you have to check every wall, you know? But for this game, it's like there's hardly any of these secret walls in this game. It's not something that you normally do. But on this level, they just throw that at you as something that you need to do in order to progress. It's kind of weird. It's the same thing with this entire level, actually. You know, they throw at... In this level, they throw enemies that shoot really fast projectiles that home in on you, and they put you in like a tight corridor like this where you can't even dodge or anything. So basically, you just gotta tank a lot of this. I mean, and they gave you enough health to do it, but I don't know, it doesn't feel as good as giving the player the ability to dodge and do something about it, you know?
Warp portal activated. You have found a sacred eagle feather.
Oh, he's talking to me, Spider? Why'd I play this game? Pooley. Pooley, what are you talking about? You can't play one game for too long.
Force field down.
I don't know. I enjoy it. It's just that it's not perfect. So when I first started playing this, and I didn't know where everything was, that was just part of the frustration, which is like, wow, how in the world was I supposed to find that out? Basically, I had to get a guide in order to tell me, how to beat the level and stuff. And even though like this new version of this is the remastered version of the original, and the remastered version has these hints that tell you with the exclamation point, they tell you like objects of interest and stuff. And even that didn't show up on that hidden door that I just talked about. So it's just weird design choices, but it's still a very fun game. I guess the reason I like playing this game is because it's like Doom Eternal sort of, but my computer can't handle Doom Eternal. But it's like the same kind of concept, and then has dinosaurs, and instead of demons, it's like aliens and monsters and stuff. I like the weapons too. The weapons are super creative.
Force field generator destroyed. And if you guys play Left 4 Dead 2, I think other than DST, that's probably my most played game, Left 4 Dead 2.
I never streamed Left 4 Dead 2. I'm not sure if my computer could handle that. I mean, it can barely handle this one, right? I wouldn't mind trying that though. But unlike DST, like, there's not really cool things you can do in Left 4 Dead 2. It's like, you beat the campaign, you have a lot of skill at shooting and stuff, you know? But there's not like, you know, how to befriend boomers forever, you know, in Left 4 Dead 2. No tricks like that. Different kind of game. It's not as chill as DST, I gotta say. A lot more exciting though. I'm sure it would be a lot more exciting to stream. I think in 4 hours you could probably beat all the campaigns. No, you're right, Spider. That's Left 4 Dead 2. It's a versus mode. The thing is, versus mode, I played in public servers for versus mode, and very weird. It's like, either the team you're up against, really noobish, like they don't know what they're doing, they don't stick together and stuff, or they're like pros, you know? They're like on voice chat, they're all sweaty at their keyboard, and I don't know, they're aimbotting you through the walls and stuff. Very rarely is it like an even balance match. That's just my experience though. Here's the thing about that though. I wouldn't have fun doing that. Like beating the game in expert with only melee. And I'm not sure if I would enjoy even watching that. Maybe I would, but I don't know. Like my favorite mode in Left 4 Dead 2 is survival. That's basically, you know, constant hordes over and over. See if how long you can survive for. And there's like 3 different tiers of how well you do. I think bronze is surviving for 4 minutes, silver is 7, and gold is past 10. And I think I got gold in like every single map right now. But I have this friend, his name is called Caesar. I'm not sure if you guys know of him. That guy is insane. Like on every map he has at least 2 hours. Like he survives for 2 hours on every single map. And he posts like YouTube videos and stuff. His name is Sazor, I think. Yeah, like every single map, 2 hours. And then he does solo survival maps. And just by himself, no teammates, he can survive for like 14 minutes on like the hardest maps. This guy is crazy. No, I'm serious, you guys. Like, if you guys wanted to see his stuff, just go on YouTube and type in like Left 4 Dead 2, like L4D2, and then Sazor, Sazor. You're gonna find his stuff, and it's like every survival map on Left 4 Dead 2. It's like 2-3 hours. Crazy. Like, I think I'm pretty good at Left 4 Dead 2, especially survival. But the most I ever got is probably like 25 minutes, I'd say. But this guy is like nuts. I'm not even sure how I became his friend. He was in like a random pub and he was like carrying everybody. What do you mean guide? Like don't do you consider the tall bird ones? You don't consider those kind of guides, or no? Those are just like tips and tricks, I guess. I mean, I don't think I'm ever gonna come up with something as good as beefalo taming is OP, because that's basically, you know, what I do to like, you know, dominate the game, basically. So I'm already telling you my top tier strat, my personal top tier strat, you know. But I do have some character guides coming out. So you probably weren't here earlier, but I have one called the S tier West guide, which is basically breaking down a run that I did as Wes that I think I can repeat pretty consistently, beating 4 raid bosses before Deerclops. So that's going to be one of the guides, I guess you could call it. Another guide that's kind of it's going to come up before that is called How to Be a Good Wes, and it's not as cool, I'd say, as the S tier West one, but it's still like giving you kind of interesting information, like what you can do as Wes if you're playing with teammates. You know, how to be the most effective teammate if you're a Wes. And then what else guides do I have? I have a Wendy guide, how to fight as Wendy, which basically breaks down, you know, the different situations and how you want to deal with them when using Abigail. Because, you know, the typical way to use Abigail is basically right click on the flower and then she'll just kill everything. But that's only going to work against weak mobs. I'd say things that are like Spelunkies or weaker. If you got anything stronger than that, you're going to have to be a little bit smarter, a little bit more involved. And so that guide is pretty much going over the different situations that you're going to want to use Abigail and how to use her. There's that. And then my best video is the S tier Wendy guide. I'm not going to really spoil that one, but kind of the same concept as the West guide, you know? And then, in addition to that, so I'm not sure if you guys saw on my channel, in the community tab, I had asked like a poll question, I think it was a couple weeks ago, about what kind of videos that people would want to see. And people said, like, I think overwhelmingly it was like top tier character guides or something, or high level character guides. And then I asked them, the follow-up question was, okay, which characters? And I just gave them a list of characters that you know, I think I'm pretty well experienced with, so I'd be able to give some valuable input about. And so it was basically between Weber, Wendy, who was it? Wigfrid, Woody, and Wes. And so basically, Wigfrid and Woody got like the short end of the stick. They got like the lowest votes. So I'm kind of combining them into, you know, 2 videos, or I'm combining both of them into a single video / guide. And that's basically the Wigfrid and Weremoose combo. It's going to be going over that kind of stuff. I guess you could call that kind of a guide too, but not the same thing as like an S tier Wigfrid guide, because I don't think anybody needs an S tier Wigfrid guide. I think it's pretty straightforward what you got to do. S tier Woody guide would be cool, but I'd like Mattis if Mats to do that, because Mattis he's the Woody guy. Who did you vote for? Yeeg. Yeah, Mattis is crazy. His animation canceling, like, I can't do it. I probably could learn how to do it, but no, I'm gonna leave that to him. With his animation canceling, you know, Woody, in his Werewolf form, he hits a little bit slower than the regular default player. I think it hits like one attack every 0.5 or 0.53 seconds. But Mattis, when he does his animation canceling, he like multiplies that by 1.5. So he basically hits like 1.5 attacks every one attack the regular Werewolf would be using. So it greatly increases its DPS. Although I gotta say, I think one thing I did do better than Mattis and Milk Toast is I think my strategy for the shadow chess pieces is pretty good. Pretty solid as Woody. Well, this one came out first. This missile launcher was first before Metroid. But yeah, I don't know. The first Metroid Prime game, I didn't really like the missiles, like the effects. It didn't seem like an explosion. It was more like a bubble, you know? At least with these missiles, like, it feels like an explosion. It shakes the screen. I think I like this one more than the Metroid Prime missiles. Maybe in the later games they changed it.
Queen embryo destroyed.
Yeah, I think Mattis would agree with you. He wants Woody to get buffed too. But I'm not sure how we would go about that. Because honestly, I'm not sure if you see my recent live stream, Spider. But when you pair Woody with Wigfred, he's basically unstoppable. Like, yeah, he's not all that great on his own. But if he's with Wigfred, like, he's invincible against most of the bosses. The crafting meter. No more meters, please. Other M. Sid, did you actually play Other M? Or did you just watch, like, other people play Other M? What did Spider say? Well, no, I mean, it's not. I don't know, Spider. Like, he doesn't really need Wigfred, you know.
Master computer destroyed.
He doesn't really need Wigfred to be good. He's exception. I say he's exceptional with Wigfred, you know. I think they could tune him up a little bit, but I'm not sure how they'll do that. Actually, no, I do know how they do that. I explained that in my Woody Needs a Buff video. I think that just allowing him to wear head and body slots, not benefit from the armor, but benefit from the effects, and like the speed boost from the Magiluminescence, I think that would do it for him. Give him some speed so he can actually dodge, because if you're not allowed to heal for 4 minutes in combat, you gotta be able to dodge, even if you have 90% damage reduction.
You must save the totem, Turok.
But But I wouldn't want him to get. I wouldn't want the Werewolves to be OP because like, or at least that on his own. Because I wouldn't want that for any character. It'd be boring. Like the reason why Woody's one of my favorite characters is because like it's fun to learn how to make him work, you know, to figure that out. Okay, so Sid, you did play the game. So I never played Other M. I only watched other people play it, and I watched it on, what is that channel called? Gamer's Little Playground. And I enjoyed it. What I didn't enjoy, obviously, was the story. Because it's really stupid in some parts. They make Samus, like... They turn her into a princess, which is stupid. Really, really dumb. But if you want a better story, I don't know if your Wii has this capability, but if you change it to the Japanese version, it's Samus is a lot more palatable. She doesn't sound like some kind of, I don't know, teen drama queen or something. But yeah, like the story is definitely the weakest. The gameplay looks really cool. And I didn't think it was as bad as what other people thought. But maybe that's because I watched the Japanese dub. Like the Japanese actress who voices Samus, yeah, does a way better job than the English one, I think. More resources for collecting wood. I'm not sure how I feel about that. I think faster, maybe, or maybe the beaver has like a. You'll automatically put wood into his inventory. I don't know about more resources though. Not sure how I feel about that. But that's just me, you know. Yeah. So no, seriously, like that's what I was hoping Samus was, like female Doomslayer. Yeah, like she has single-handedly what destroyed planets. She's single-handedly taken on armies, and she's fought Ridley like 100 times already, and then she's getting PTSD. Ridiculous. Like doesn't make any sense. They're just doing it to create drama in the story, but it makes absolutely no sense. It takes you as the the Metroid fan out of the game completely. It's a horrible decision. And then there's the fact that Adam, like, he basically beats Samus by shooting her once with a freeze gun or something. Like, how do you do that when she's taking on giant monsters and stuff, and you can just take her out with one shot from, like, a regular pistol? Makes no sense.
You should be ashamed.
The lair of the blind ones. Little is known of this mysterious race. Legends tell of ghostly figures emerging at night from underground and dragging hapless victims to their doom. Though they do not possess the power of sight, the blind ones are hardly helpless. They can hear the beat of a heart.
Yeah, Sid, did you play that new Samus game, Metroid Dread?
Attacking with primitive brutality and a lust for warm blood.
Because I think they did her right in that video game.
Centuries deep beneath the surface.
That's the Samus that I think we were all waiting for in Other M.
Your mission objectives are as follows. Seal 3 thermal vents, trapping the blind ones beneath tons of rock.
But yeah, it's kind of a shame that they messed up the story for Other M because
Locate the energy
the
totem
gameplay, the
and
graphics
defend
looks
it
really
at
cool,
all costs.
and it's basically took all the enemies from Metroid Fusion and put them in onto the 3D and stuff. And instead of just being a shooter, now you can do like melee attacks and stuff. It was the concepts were cool. Just, you know, didn't have the complete package, I guess. So yeah, I never played the game as you know, but from what I heard, the one um, thing that people didn't like about the gameplay was that they said the missiles were way too overpowered. Like all you had to do was just use spam missiles and you could win. I think that's what they said. But yeah, I would have liked to play it. Because obviously when you're playing the game, you don't have to listen to Samus talk and stuff. Oh yeah, another thing that I heard was that the controls are a little bit clunky. But maybe that, of course, I haven't tried it firsthand. Well, what's funny is that the game looks better on your screen than it does on mine.
Primogen key found.
Oh yeah, by the way, this is like the worst level of this video game. This is the one that makes everybody rage quit. Because everything looks the same, it's extremely long, it's like a maze from start to finish. Gotta know exactly what you're doing. There's some backtracking, a lot of stuff.
Activated.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right, Sid. That's what I heard. Like most people like Anthony. I think he's like the best character from the game. And by the way, the deleter, kind of going back to one of your comments earlier, the deleter wasn't explicitly stated, but I think they did kind of hint at who it was. It's the guy with the mustache. Forgot his name. Yeah. That plot line was completely dropped like 3/4 of the way through the story. Nobody even cared. But yeah, I don't know, Sid. You should try and watch the Japanese dub if you haven't already. It's much better, especially the whole Ridley part. It actually comes across as pretty good, in my opinion. Not the whole thing about her getting all freaked out in PTSD and stuff, but I'd say it makes the Ridley fight a lot more tolerable. Yep. Do I play DST with viewers? What do you mean? Like, I think I just streamed for like 5 hours today, if that's what you're talking about. I streamed the DST today for 5 hours. Wait, are you talking about you pre-ordered the game but you didn't and you never played it, Sid? I don't understand. But yeah, Spiderwebs. If you're talking about DST, yeah, I've been I streamed today. Me, Whiskas, some other guys that sort of pop into the chat too, like Mikey. Um, Streamed it today, and we ended up beating all the raid bosses except for Celestial Champion and Crab King in one sitting. Least favorite character in DST, definitely Wolfgang. I think I have the least amount of time on Wolfgang. And I think Pooley asked me about that earlier, why I don't really like Wolfgang. Not sure if you're here for that one. Okay. I misunderstood what you were saying then. Malbatross. Wait, did you mean character as in like mob or character as in playable character? Because I guess if it comes to bosses, Malbatross definitely, I agree with you. Yeah, I disagree with that about Wolfgang. I think he's far more mindless now than he was before the rework. Because in order to use him before the rework, you had to, keep your hunger at 300 in order to get that 2 times damage. And so there is a little bit of a skill ceiling for that. Or I mean, it took a little bit of skill, not just simply getting 4 rocks and a twig, and then right-clicking onto a dumbbell for a few seconds before a fight. In order to maintain, your maximum damage, you'd have to kind of plan out what you're doing, bring the right amount of food, snacks, so that you could continuously eat that throughout the fight. Now it's like, once you're mighty, you just are never going to be not mighty as long as you're in combat. Wolfgang throwing other characters.
Your oxygen is low.
Yeah, the dumbbell, the exercise machine. I don't like them. I don't like any of them. The dumbbell has like no use outside of Wolfgang. No other character can pretty much use it. And it does something that, I don't know, it's just super exclusive. It's really straightforward how to play him. I like characters that, are more random parts that you can put together yourself in order to try and build something that's good, that's really workable, rather than the developers just giving you all the tools you need to succeed and explaining it to you. Oh no, I meant land raid boss, not land boss. We didn't fight like Berger and Moose Goose and stuff like that. Raid boss. So
Your oxygen is
I
low.
define raid boss as, you know, having over 10,000 HP and yeah, like claws and stuff. I guess that's their way of making bosses difficult. You know, the more annoying they are, the more difficult. Give the player a harder time. But yeah, that's not the way to go. Just that's like the lazy way to increase difficulty. Wait, you think Crab King is perfect? I don't know, buddy. I have a hard time agreeing with that one. I think Crab King is worse than Malbatross. I gotta say. Yeah, Toadstool is actually not bad, to be honest. You just gotta learn how to. It has some interesting mechanics that you can really take advantage of to beat. It's not as much of a resource sink as most people think. Yeah, to be honest, so much mixed opinions about the bosses in this game. Like some people say that the raid bosses are too hard, other people say they're too easy. I think both of them have their own merits, you know, because raid bosses, I think the intention was to make them multiplayer bosses, right? You want to fight them with multiple people, but if you're fighting them solo, you still can do it. It's just gonna be very difficult. You know, you're gonna have to get end game loot or really top tier equipment to beat them. It's all fine by me, but when you have people that can rush ruins consistently and you put them all on the same team, raid bosses become kind of a joke, which is kind of like what you saw in this last run. Like we were using like medium to lower tier characters and we still beat all the raid bosses by day 33ish, day 32. You know, it's like not even the end of the first winter. And that was 6 of us, I think. And we weren't playing super serious, you know, we weren't like sweaty, try hard the whole time. But I think that we're all pretty experienced players. And if you could do that, the only boss that was mildly tough, I would say, was Misery Toadstool. Fuel Weaver is a complete joke if you have like 3 players or more. Just an utter joke. And if you have 6, my gosh, it's like he's easier than Dragonfly. If you have 6 people. Yeah, so what I'd wish they would do with bosses, and I don't know if this is, sorry if this is kind of off topic from what you guys are talking about, but I wish they would do everything that they did with, or the same thing that they did with Toadstool. They give every boss some kind of like misery variant or a stronger variant that, you know, the player can obtain or the player can fight if they fulfill some kind of requirement. And then, you know, with the stronger variant comes a little bit better loot. But yeah, that's what I wish they would do with some of these bosses. Too easy. Killed more than 2 raid bosses as Wes. You talking about me? Yeah, but Crab King is just like a horribly designed boss. If he was a well-designed boss, then yeah, I would say I'd put him in the same boat as Toadstool, you know, which is, yeah, good. He has a stronger variant. But I think they seriously gotta rework Crab King from like the top down. Complete revamp. Makes no sense. He's not a fun boss to fight. Wait, sorry, what did you guys say? Oh, Spider asked me what tier am I on my tier list. I think I'm easily S tier. And that's not, I mean, that's not me saying that I'm the best player or one of the best. It's just that like S tier is really a level in which I think you get to when you're playing the game at the highest level, which is basically rushing raid bosses. I think pretty much all the people that I play with and I stream with are S tier. I would call them that. Whiska's is S tier. Mikey is S tier. Yili, S tier. Some of the guys, Mattis is S tier. It's not an extremely difficult requirement. You know, it's not like next to impossible requirement to achieve. Like, I'd say S tier is basically, you know, you're in the NBA, basically. Like, you have LeBron James, who's, you know, way better than probably the worst player in the NBA, but still, the worst player in the NBA is still really good. He's still in the NBA.
Thermal vent field.
Yeah, I think I was talking with Sid yesterday about what they should do for the ocean content, or maybe what changes they could make to like the pudgy beefalo or something to make them viable. And I think that was a good suggestion, which is allow it to swim. Yeah, I'm pretty sure you're selling yourself very short, my friend, if you're saying you're not S tier. Like, you can just tell the level of people too, you know? Even if you don't actually see them beat all 3 raid bosses before end of winter or before day 30, you can just tell by, you know, the way they move, the way they play the game, the way they can kite bosses, the way they amass resources very quickly. Yeah, this guy can probably, if he wanted to, could beat 3, 4 raid bosses by himself in early game. But maybe you're just saying that you're not S tier because you don't agree with, you know, my classification of what S tier is. Maybe you think it's too low or something.
You must save the totem, Turok.
When you almost died to Kloss in this last run?
Mission accomplished.
Oh yeah, by the way, this is another boss. It's a pretty interesting one. If you guys want to talk about fun bosses, it's probably the funnest boss in the game, I'd say. I'm not exactly sure what it's supposed to be. A giant cave creature or something. How did that happen, Whiskas? You must have been doing like something really wrong for that to happen to you. Were you like trying something out or something? Trying something new? Okay, so you just got really cocky then. Or you were... Because you're so confident that you're gonna do it no hit, you didn't really prepare any extra armor. Okay. You're funny, man. That does not mean that you're not S tier. Yeah, so if I was a Monona main, well, first off, I don't know, I'd probably go insane, but other than that, if I was a Monona main, I think the easiest bosses to beat before day 30 would probably be Dragonfly, Bee Queen, Kloss. That seems really doable. Don't even need catapults for Dragonfly or Kloss, just for Bee Queen.
The Primogen's lightship. Little is known about this mysterious and ancient vessel. The lightship is believed to be maintained by a horde of lethal biomechanical droids programmed to do their master's bidding. The vessel itself is massive and is undoubtedly well defended. Your mission objectives are as follows. Destroy 3 automated assembly plants. The Primogen's lightship is completely self-sufficient and can supply itself with an army of biobots manufactured deep within the superstructure. In the event that the Primogen is defeated, the biobots have been programmed to exit the lightship and eradicate intelligent life from the face of the Lost Land as one last twisted act of revenge by the Primogen. You must destroy all of the assembly plants within the lightship. Purify the River of Souls. The waste created by the lightship's power cells is responsible for the toxins that poison the River of Souls. By reversing their polarity, the toxins will be eradicated, and the River of Souls will flow pure for the first time. Tens of thousands would benefit from its clean, cool waters.
Yeah, I think Kloss is like everybody's favorite boss because he's probably the most well designed. Yup. I think you did that in one of our runs. No, but Whiskas, okay. So, if I had your skill as Winona, if I were to combine that with what I know about runes rushing, beefalo taming, all that kind of stuff, I'd say conservative could probably beat like 5 raid bosses before day 30. I think that's very doable. You got Bee Queen, Dragonfly, Kloss, Shadow Chess Pieces, that's 4. And then you could probably throw in like Twins of Terror. Twins of Terror or Toadstool. Yeah, but the only boss that you would need a setup for is the Bee Queen and the shadow chess pieces. All the other ones you really wouldn't need setup. Dragonfly, you can always beat her on foot, you know. And then Twins of Terror, like I beat him with Wes on a Beefalo, so you can do it on a Beefalo. It would take you 3 nights probably. You can do it. What else is there? Yeah. Is that it? Bee Queen, Dragonfly, Twins of Terror, Kloss, beat him on foot. Wait, what video are you talking about? Oh, the Krampus. Yeah, I actually saw that happen in real time. Couldn't believe it. Man, I'm surprised this video game is streaming so well. Yeah, so Fury for Rush, you're gonna wanna. I mean, everybody does it a little bit differently, but there are some things that you have to do. Like, you have to rush the ruins. You have to do the shadow chess pieces on day 21. Gotta find the atrium somehow. And, I mean, you can do it legit or you can do it cheating. Of course, if I'm gonna do a video on it on my channel, I'm gonna talk about how to do it legit. But the cheating way is the void gate glitch, where you put 2 gates, or was it wooden gates, against the void in the caves, and you kind of push yourself into the void, and that lets you walk like basically on thin air in the gaps in between the land in the caves, and you can basically get wherever you want using that. How do I get there now? But yeah, the way I rush Fuel Weaver is I tame a Beefalo, I rush tame it, so I typically will start taming it on day 2. I can find the Beefalo at that time and I give it my first feeding on day 2. And then from day 2 to maybe, I'd say 8 or 9, I use that time to explore the map and find the chess pieces and assemble them. And then after that, my Beefalo has been taming for about 7 to 6 days, so it's going to let me ride for quite a while. And at that point, I'm ready to rush the ruins. So I go into the ruins. Basically, all you need to do is beat AG, because since his loot got buffed, you don't have to go and mine a lot of statues. A lot of times, all the stuff you need is in his large ornate chest. And then after you beat him, rush back to the surface, fight the shadow chess pieces on day 21, Your beefalo will probably tame in about a couple days after that, and then you're ready to fight Fuel Weaver. Oh yeah, and you also gotta build your base, get a Shadow Manipulator, you gotta do the fossil fragments, all that kind of stuff. I think I cheated in my video. I think I used the Void Walk glitch. But in the Wendy guide that I have, I do it legit. And I don't think it's too hard to do it legit, to be honest. Most of the time, you know, you can find the atrium using moggles. And then you just gotta telepoof using a Lazy Explorer. And you're gonna have a Lazy Explorer if you're gonna fight Fuel Weaver. It's not too hard to get. Ugh. Man, this game is bloody. Yeah, the ancient, wait, actually, are you, if you're playing Winona, then I agree with that. That maybe the ancient Fuel Weaver fight is not the hardest part of the run, but if you're playing any other character, I'd say it's still pretty hard if you're doing it 1 versus 1. Because you're not gonna have weather panes. There's a lot of item switching you gotta do. But yeah, if you're Winona, you don't have to worry about that. Just got your catapults destroying all the little minions for you. Well, you don't have to get the fossils before day 21. It would be nice to do that, but you can always get the fossils after day 21 on your way to fight Fuel Weaver. You technically don't even have to Ruins Rush before day 21. You can just do that before you fight Fuel Weaver too. It's just most of the times it's better, in my opinion. But yeah, you could always just leave it off for after day 21. Just do it really quickly. And then fight Fuel Weaver right after you beat the Ancient Guardian. It's always an option. that's like half true. Wendy is much better than other characters at fighting Fuel Weaver, but ever since the Wanda update, and by that I mean ever since they introduced Wanda as a character, they changed the Fuel Weaver so that Abigail can't stun lock it anymore. So it will even kill Abigail, even if she has, like, even if she's getting healed by, what is that called? That heart potion. Fuel Weaver can still kill her. So you gotta be smarter. You gotta be smart about that. Yeah, but I mean, thermal stones kind of ignore, like, wetness, right? I think most advanced players use thermal stones. The only thing that I'll be worried about when it comes to, like, rain is really sanity. But yeah, you can have like 100% wetness, and you'll be fine if you have a thermal stone. Now you shouldn't feel stupid though, because the game throws all these red herrings at you for, like, surviving in summer and winter. Like, they have all these different clothing options, you know, and all these little ways to get these clothings. So it's all red herrings. I don't blame you for falling for it, because I think everybody falls for it at first. Yeah. You know, before I started rushing bosses, I used to love using the Tamil Shanter. But nowadays, I never ever use it. Although I should probably use it more. It's just weird. That was like my go-to item, you know? I was like, this is like the golden head slot item. but after you change playstyle, it becomes completely obsolete. Or at least for me it was. Okay, where am I supposed to go? Wait, Edgy Rick does TF2? Really? But he doesn't do it on his YouTube channel, right? Yeah, I think his name was what, Keyboard or something? Didn't know that was his brother. How many subscribers does he have on his second channel? Is it as much as he has on the Edgy Rick channel? Because I guess, you know, the whole thing about hating stuff or going on rants about what you hate, I mean, it does sell. That is what people are attracted to, you know? Dang, yep. That is a very profitable type of video. Yeah, it's a character that he plays. I don't take it seriously. And I think that's how you're supposed to do it. You're not supposed to take the edgy Rick character seriously. It's more like an entertainment kind of thing. Yeah, I think the same thing as Sid. It's like a trophy kind of thing. Not something I would lean on, but it's something pretty cool to have around.
Yep.
I mean, what other use is there for the Guardian Horn other than the Houndy to shoot us? Is there anything else you could use it for? I mean, other than just eating it for some health and hunger.
Assembly plant destroyed.
By the way, isn't this game like ridiculously long? Jeez.
Assembly plant destroyed.
Yeah. So anything you can do is eat it. guy's nuts.
Primogen key found.
What? Oh, forgot. Okay. Click that button. This thing is called the Flesh Mother. It's like the, I guess it's like the queen of those random eyeball creatures I fight in every single level. Yeah, she's pretty disgusting. And this is the one boss in the game that you can't actually kill. She actually gets away at the end. Alright, and that's basically all the levels. Only thing else only thing left to do is fight the final boss. I think I beat all the other levels in the last run. But yeah, I've been using cheats, obviously. So infinite ammo, infinite health, all the objects and everything. But yeah, I guess thanks guys for sticking around. I'm gonna go and get something to eat now. Yeah, I'm about to end the stream right now. Glad I can finally stream at 60 FPS at a pretty good quality. Pretty happy about that. Alright everybody,